Okay, hi everyone.
Hi.
So today,
Hi.
Hi.
so today we're just going to talk about our experiences studying in Nottingham and being in Nottingham. I am Etienne Karika and I'm currently studying Public Health, Global Health in University of Nottingham.
Next, I'm Soumya Chaudhary. I am studying MSc in Mental Health Research and Practice, and I've been here since September last year.
Okay, I'll go next. I'm Sehla, and I'm getting my MSc in Supply Chain and Operations Management from the University of Nottingham. And I was here since September, but I moved back home in March, and I'm back home right now.
Okay, I'm Kiangu and I'm doing my BSc in computer science with artificial intelligence. So I'm currently doing my second year. I'll go to my third year in this September. But so half of my second year I spent in my home. So I went back China in March and I finished the rest semester, yeah, at home. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. So what was it like traveling to the UK for each and every one of you? Sonia, what was it like traveling to the UK? What was your experiences? How was it for you?
So I went back home in March when there was a rise in cases, and I came back 20 days ago. So when I was traveling, I traveled from Bangalore, India, and it is kind of overwhelming. Like, it gives you a lot of anxiety to travel, that you have to, because everybody's wearing masks and everybody's just doing essential travel. And I was having second thoughts till the last day, and I was thinking whether I should go or should not go. But then when you come to the airport, then you feel much better. Like, then you start having second thoughts, because then you start seeing that others are also traveling with you. And I was traveling with a group of friends, so my apprehension was less when I saw them. When I was like, okay, fine, now we're traveling together. Everything is very sanitized everywhere. Like, it's over sanitized at some points, and everybody's taking very good precautions. And that's what I learned from the airport and from my journey, that if you take precautions, you're going to stay safe, no matter whoever you are exposed to or how much you're exposed to. um, Interestingly, I took a transit. I flew from Germany. So there was a flight from Bangalore to Germany, then Germany to London. So the flights are full. So, like, you people might think that nobody's traveling right now, and there's going to be empty flights. It's not. I thought so, but it was completely the other way around. India, Germany, London flights were absolutely full. They were packed, and I was. Then my apprehension came down even less, because I was like, okay, everybody's there, everybody's traveling. I'm not the only one, but. You just need to keep sanitizing. You need to pack properly. You need to have your sanitizers. You need to have your masks, extra masks, everything kept in your bag, so that in case you keep needing it. The airline provides a lot of support, like a lot of support. So if you need anything, they'll give it to you, but they're very strict. You can't remove your mask throughout the flight. So traveling is risky, and after you come to London, it is absolutely smooth. The custom officials, immigration officials, everybody is very helpful. And once you're through it, you can take a public or a private transport. Like, I took a private cab to come to Nottingham, and anybody can do that depending upon how safe they feel. So, in conclusion, I would like to say that traveling to Nottingham was a very different experience from what I had last September, when I was traveling without any pandemic going on around the world. But when I think, was it worth it? I absolutely feel that it was worth it, because it is safe. It is just the faith of leap that you need to take sometimes, and if you take it, it's good.
That's nice. For me, I'm just going to add to what you said. When I was moving from Nigeria to the UK as well, I kept with my sister because I'm someone that I really don't like traveling so much because I'm always having like anxiety before I travel and everything. Apparently, it was a different experience when I traveled. I was much calm because I was with my sister and everything. And my experience was actually nice. I met my friends as well that I didn't expect to meet at the airport. And when I got to the UK, it was something new for me, and I was just excited to just have those new experiences. So I'm gonna go straight to ask Stella, how did you make your friends? Like, how did you make friends when you arrived here in the UK?
Okay, so when I came here, I did have a friend here from back home, and I got here about a week late. So he was the one who actually greeted me and told me the things about Nottingham for me to get by my first couple of weeks. So in the first couple of weeks, I did have a friend from back home, but afterwards, once classes had started and everything, so it was the people are actually really friendly because they're coming from all parts of the world. So everyone wants to make friends, so every class whoever I would sit with, I would end up making friends with that person, and then slowly and gradually, like the people that I was friends with, or my group so to speak, began expanding. And then there was this scholarship ceremony, so I met quite a few people over there, and then I made more friends with them. So it was like a gradual process. But the nice thing was that everyone's really friendly. Everyone's looking to make friends. Everyone's looking to know more people from all over the world. So there's no sort of groups. Even if people are coming from the same country, even if they're friends from before, nobody's really closed off to meeting new people and all. So it didn't take me a long time, and it was a great experience because I feel like these are friends for life.
Yeah, that's really lovely. For me as well, I also made friends through my society, the society that I joined back in school. So I met a lot of friends through that society as well. I also made friends from like my classmates and some other people that I met when I came to the UK. So Kian, did I pronounce that well? Okay, Kian.
Yeah.
How did you find adjusting to life in the UK? Do you have
Uh,
tips for getting used to, the British culture? How did you find things when you came to the UK?
I think life in UK was good, especially in Nottingham, because like Nottingham is not like London, like that greater modern city. Not I would say I prefer like the small city like Nottingham because you can find whatever you want in there, and like if you want to go to gym, you don't have to take a tube for like half an hour, even 1 hour. You can just walk there, and it's very convenient and it saves a lot of time. And so before I come into UK, I would think like everything there may be very expensive, but after I arrived, I found out the prices are very acceptable. It's not what I was thinking, and I think the food in UK is great as well. Like there are a lot of Chinese restaurants in Nottingham, and I think there are Indian restaurants. Are there?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
So so yeah, people can find their country food in UK and don't have to miss things back home. And for the transportation in UK, like for example in Nottingham, the tram is very convenient. Like you can, uh, I think the price are like £2. Yeah, you can only spend £2 and you can go a lot of places. Yeah, for the accommodation, yeah, so I stayed in Nottingham too last semester, and I think my dormitory was good. Yeah.
I'd just
And
like to add on over here. This was the first time I was traveling without my family, and I actually found the people in the UK to be very friendly. They're very welcoming, and it's very easy to acclimate to the British culture because they're very nice. So one thing that I notice over here is people are genuinely nice, and there's a lot of good etiquette going around. So you're saying thank you, you're saying please, etc. So you feel really valued and really cherished. Even if people don't know you, they'd give you a smile and everything. So like my second day in, I felt like I was a part of the country already, and they were very welcoming. So I feel like anyone who's going to be coming this year, be it in September or later on in the year, they're not going to have a hard time getting used to the British culture because people are very welcoming. So yeah.
okay, that's really really nice. Sima, do you have any other thing to add to that?
Uh, Essentially, I think all of you have covered all your points, but I had an additional. I'm very sure that there are some people who are coming here with a group of friends. So I came here with a group of friends from my bachelor's degree in India. So I never divorced out and made more friends because I already had the friends I had in college. So that is one thing that I think I should have done. So it's for all those students who are coming to Nottingham, even if you have friends here and you know people in the UK and you're traveling with your friends, I would advise you that go out, meet friends, make friends, and that is going to help you a lot in getting acclimatized to other cultures and getting to know more about other cultures.
So, did you find anything unexpected about living in the UK? Did anyone find anything unexpected about living in the UK?
Sorry, are you asking me?
Yeah, anyone. Did anyone find anything unexpected about living in the UK?
And I am surprised by how hot it can get here, even in the summers. I did not know that it can actually get this hot, because even in India, where when I left India, it was very very hot that time, and I was like, okay, fine, I'm going to a colder climate. But yes, summers in UK are bright, they are shining, that everybody's out, everybody's enjoying. For a moment I just forgot that there is a pandemic, but there is. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm sure Etienne will agree with me that it's
Yes, it is.
very
Absolutely.
very beautiful in the city here.
Yes, it is. And about the weather thing, I wasn't expecting the summer to be really, really hot. Like it's been hot because all the mindset I had about the UK was like it's a cold environment, so it's just gonna be cold throughout. But when the summer came around and it was really, really hot, it was like, oof, okay. Yeah, that was one thing that I really didn't expect while living in the UK. Okay, that's really, really dope. Do you have any recommendation about where to live in Nottingham? Do you have any place in Nottingham that they can recommend for someone if someone is coming to Nottingham?
I would say that you should look at which campus you're going to have your classes in, because um, personally, I'm not very punctual. So in the morning, especially if I had a class early in the morning, I would always find it really hard to wake up on time or get dressed and get to class on time. So I think a lot of people are actually like me. We're students and we tend to get late, and also I think it's always good to have an accommodation which is close to the campus where you're going to have your classes. So I had my classes at Jubilee campus, most of them. So I was living at Raleigh Park, which is about 7 to 10 minutes away on foot. So it didn't take a lot of time. Plus, it's also very healthy just to walk and not take the bus everywhere. So I found that to be an additional benefit of living so close to the campus. So I think that is one big thing. Obviously, your affordability comes in, or where your friends live. Say like Soumya, like she said, she came in with a group of friends. So for her, maybe living closer to the friends might have been a greater incentive than this one. So I think it also depends on your personal preference. But for me, it's or if I were giving someone a recommendation, I would always say that choose a place which is close to the campus where you're going to have your classes, because you're going to save yourself a lot of time as well as traveling money. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really nice. Kian, do you have any other things to add to that?
So for people who want to rent a private house, because like private house has cheaper prices than the accommodation provided by the university, I would recommend the area called Wallington, which is a an area living a lot of like middle class people, and you don't have to worry about like thieves or robbers, things like that.
Yeah, that's really nice. And just to what Stella said, for me, if I want to give any recommendation, I always say just what's your budget? What amount of money do you have available? So you can always know like go on the internet and like, okay, fine, this is my budget. And also know the environment you're staying and the people that are living in the environment because that's really, really important as well. And also try and stay close to the school because with that you can also save like transport money and you're just gonna save you a lot of money as well. So, Sumia, do you have anything to say, or we've just said everything?
Yeah, no, I would want to add that there are a lot of students. So I've been talking to a lot of students in the past couple of months, and I want to know add the fact that there is a lot of terminology around UK accommodations, like that there is ensuite, there's studio, then there is apartment, and all those kind of things. There are a lot of students who get confused around this terminology, and then they don't understand what they have booked and who they have booked it with. So sometimes they book a studio which turns out to be a twin studio. So my advice would only be that when you're booking for accommodations, of course, what Sela said is very important. That your affordability is there, your travel and your how much close you are to your campus. All those factors are there, of course. But you should also look into what are you booking at the end. Are you booking a studio who is and you can always free to write to the university people or the accommodation people and get your doubts clarified, because once you sign the Tennessee agreement, it is very difficult to go back and unsign it. So it is important to understand the terminology, what you're getting into, who you're getting into with, and of course the rest of the other things which all of you have mentioned.
Yeah, that's really really
Yeah, so I just asked my accommodation today, like if I want to cancel my tenancy, what should I do? He replied me like I have to find a person to take my tenancy, or I will lose all my deposit, which is like £300. Yeah.
okay. Okay, so what are the living expenses? What are your living expenses like in Nottingham? Do you have any tips for managing your expenses in Nottingham?
Okay, so apart from rent, my rent was about £128 a week. So apart from that, because I paid them in installments rather than per week, I think for about a month it honestly depends on what you like spending on. So if you shop a lot, there's no limit to it. But if you're just looking at groceries or essential expenses, I think you can cover them in about 200 to 350 pounds, and that is being generous. So it depends on exactly how much you like to buy groceries, how much you like to travel, even in within the city. I'm not talking about out of the city travel. My trip would be, actually, I had a pretty bad experience with my money management when I came here, because I come from a different country and the currency is different. So you come here and you get a bit overwhelmed with the currency change, even though it's not really hard to learn the currency, but you're converting everything, and then that takes time, and then you think that you're spending less, but you end up spending quite a bit of money. um, so I actually ended up spending quite a lot of money, and this is what I would recommend to students to just, for the first couple of months, just stick to the very essential things that you need to have. You can do the shopping later, you can do the luxury living, so to speak, later on. But for the first couple of months, it's better to stick to the essentials so that you don't go over your budget. And then, honestly, from my own experience, you will be left with plenty of money in like a month or 2 months, once you've gotten your basics down, to actually have fun and to buy things which you really want to rather than which you need to.
Yeah, that's true as well. Because
Yeah.
when I first came into Nottingham, I also had that issue. I usually calculate like the exchange rate between my country's currency and pounds as well. So I just realized at some point I thought I was spending less as well, but I was really spending so much. But after what I did was I had a budget, and my budget I had like a priorities, which I put my essential needs first, then others came afterwards. And it's also good to also save for rainy days, because there'll be days when you really don't have so much, because you have like a savings, it will cover up those days. Okay. Anyone wants to add anything?
Uh, See, I am a shopaholic. I love to shop. I just love to shop. So, for the wider audience who would connect with me, I would suggest that you wait for sale times. So if you are a shopaholic and you come into UK, you want to shop, as at the same time you have a budget, but you're going back and you want to buy things for your family and stuff like that, I would suggest that you wait for sales. A lot of your budget goes into food. For a lot of it goes into food, because that is the fuel that literally drives us to go through it. Be it undergraduate, be it bachelor's, or be it anything, a lot of budget goes into food and rent. That's the majority of it. If you're doing part time, you might get additional bonuses or something that you might want to use towards shopping. So if you are coming to the UK for the first time, I would tell you to wait for Christmas sales. I would tell you to wait for, there are a lot of places that you can look at when there are Christmas. There's Boxing Day, there's, I don't know, Black Friday days or something of those sorts. So I
Yeah.
would suggest that you wait around that period, because a lot of students, and there are a lot of student discounts that I would advise students to make use of, because
Yeah.
I did not know about student discounts until somebody told me about student discounts. So you can get a lot of student discounts in shops, and there are student shopping nights. So please make yourself educated about what all privileges and what all discounts you get as being a student. And that will
I just want,
actually,
sorry.
yeah. No, no, go
I
ahead.
just wanted to add to it. Make sure you make an account on Uni Days and Student Beans, because you will be surprised at the amount of money you can save. And I was actually very fortunate because my friend was here last year, the year before me, and he told me to make sure that the minute I get my university ID, I log into Uni Days and Student Beans, and I saved a bunch of money through that. So make sure you do that. A lot of people, like Soumya said, you don't know how to save money until it's too late and you've spent too much money. And I actually did that in the beginning few weeks, because I needed a jacket and I needed all these things, because I come from a very warm country. So even the stuff which essentially are very warm for my own country, it wasn't warm enough for the UK. So I had to buy jackets and coats immediately, and I ended up spending a lot of money because these are expensive items of clothing. And later on, I found out I could have saved a lot of money had I made those accounts. So make sure you make them the minute you get your university ID.
Yeah, that's a good point. Kian, do you have anything to add to that?
Just add that, like, so in case you don't know how to register on Unidays, just before go out for shopping, don't forget your student card.
Okay. So how do you everyone stay connected with their friends and family? For me, I stay connected through obviously through the internet. Like I call my mom, I just do a FaceTime with them, or I just chat them on social media. So how do you guys stay connected with your friends and family?
Should I go first?
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so it's FaceTime for me as well, but then there's also WhatsApp, because WhatsApp is the most used social media application. And then I'm obsessed with Instagram, so I'm always posting stories. So whatever I'm thinking, whatever I'm doing, wherever I am, there's always a story. So my friends and family back at home, they always knew where I was or what I was doing and what I was thinking. So even if, the there were days where I was feeling low or something, so my stories would show that. So even in an indirect way, I found a way to connect with my friends and family back at home, because they would check up on me and everything. And there's always video chat. So it's actually very easy. You don't really feel very far away. Plus, I don't know about the others, but the time difference between my country and the UK is only 4 hours, so it's not even a lot of time difference. So it was very convenient.
Oh, that's nice. Anyone have something else to add to that?
So in
I
China,
yeah, go ahead.
okay, sorry. So in China, things are a little different. Like Facebook and WhatsApp are banned in China. So we use like WeChat or Weibo for social medias. Like I call my mom on WeChat like every day, and I talk to my family in our chat groups every week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so how I connect is so I've got a SIM which has a lot of international calling allowance. So sometimes, because I'm from a place in India where there's not very good internet connectivity, so I need to, keep calling them normally. So for students who are coming from, who would love to like not depend on WhatsApp for calling or not depend on internet for calling, I would suggest them to buy something like Libara, which has very good Libara, or any other plan that they buy which has an international quota, calling quota, to call back home where they don't get charged a lot. So that was very helpful in getting staying in touch with my friends and families. And a lot of like, now after that I'm here after being at home, and now I'm back here, there's a lot of video calling happening all the time. So don't worry about the internet here because it's always stable. But if you're worried about internet back home, then I would suggest that you get the right kind of plan to be in touch.
Yeah, that's a good one. So, do, what's the social life like for you in Nottingham? Have you got yourself involved in any society so far? Well, I'm gonna
Social
start.
life is,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, go on. Don't worry.
Okay, so social life is it's very similar because as usual, as I did not make a lot of friends because I already had friends, but the ones that I made from my classes and from others, so there's always a class get together at the end of the month, and there's always a job that I was doing. There's a lot of hangout with the professors, you know, that you go for a tea or a coffee sometimes in the evening. My social life was more academic oriented, and I hope that others have better social life than I did. So my social life is very academic oriented. I'm always meeting people for some interviews or for some other academic related work. So I would not be the best person to talk about it. I'm sure that rest of you will have a better experience.
Well, for me, my social life is okay, to be honest. I met a couple of people here that introduced me to like some social clubs, and I think the social life just depends on the kind of like friends you keep and the kind of like social group and social network you have when you arrive in Nottingham. So I have like a lot of friends that just like to have that social vibe and everything. So once in a while, I just go out with this group of friends and just have like a nice time as well. And my social life also goes around with my society because I'm a member of the Nigerian society. So sometimes we have like, social gatherings, social activities. And also, I'm also part of my department, society as well. And we get to have like social activities. So generally, I would say from my own experience, social life is pretty been fun because I mean, well studied, sometimes you just need to like chill, go out and just have like that time with your friends and just have like a social connect with other people. Yeah, that's how my social life is going.
I'd like to add to that. I was actually very fortunate because my flatmate, we became really nice friends. She was from Turkey, and even though we're from different countries, our countries do have a lot of political ties, and we do share the same religion. So we became like sisters, and that was really nice because we were always looking out for each other, and also, so in the first couple of weeks, she was the because she had been in the UK before as well, so she was the one who also told me a lot about the UK. And apart from that, my friends were really nice. We would go out every weekend. There was not one weekend where we didn't go out before the pandemic hit us, obviously. So it was really nice. I actually enjoyed it a lot because you're your own boss, so you don't really have to answer to anyone, and you have your own hours, etc. So you can manage your own time. You're an adult, and that's a really nice feeling. Like, I personally enjoy it a lot because back at home I live with my parents, and not to say that they're overbearing or anything, but it's obviously not the same when you're living with your parents versus when you're living alone. So your social life, to be honest, depends on yourself as a person. If you're an introvert and you don't really like meeting new people, you don't really like going out, then it's probably going to be the same over here as well. But if you're looking to make new friends, if you're looking to have new experiences, you can have the best social life over here.
Definitely.
Okay, for me, I think so. Your social life may also depend on what your study is. Like for me, my study is computer science, which is very busy. Usually, like I'll spend like the whole working days, like from Monday to Friday, in library and doing my coursework with my friends. So on working days, my social life with my friends usually just like having dinner together and nothing else. But on weekends, we usually hang out together, like clubs and doing things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice. So have you guys found a way to keep in touch with your heritage, your country's heritage back in Nottingham? When you were in Nottingham, did you find a way to keep in touch with, if you're from India, do you find a way to keep in touch with your Indian heritage? Like for
Yes.
me, yeah, I had like what I usually do is that I have like a group of like my Nigerian friends and everything because I'm from Nigeria. We just talk about things around our culture. Sometimes we vibe to our music. sometimes we just just do things that just relate to Nigeria. So that's one way I've found to keep in touch with my heritage.
That I can't even begin to tell you how much we have connected with our heritage. I think we did here more than what we were doing back in India. I don't know, every month there was a Bollywood party. So Bollywood is the how do I say, it's the film culture in India. The like how you have Hollywood for America, you have Bollywood for India. And so every weekend there used to be a Bollywood party, and there is so many Indians here. There's so many Indians here. So eventually we did get along. So my friends are from business backgrounds, but they're studying doing MSc in entrepreneurship. So they had a lot of Indians in their class. So we all got together, we all went for parties. The thrill and the excitement of listening to Bollywood music in an English country and dancing to it is unmatchable. Like there is nothing like it. And we celebrated Diwali. That's like one of our very important festivals. We celebrated Holi, Diwali. We have our Independence Day coming up on 15th of August, and we have plans for that, to do something, to get together. I think we have gotten touch, like we have really connected with our culture here, because now we cherish it more. Now that we are in a foreign country, we anywhere you hear somebody talking in Hindi or any other Indian language, you just connect. Like, you just every time we go to a Indian restaurant to eat, there is nothing UK about it. There is nothing English about it. That is it's just home and the feeling. And if there's, I just remember this one time I was in London. We were passing through. My parents came to drop me. We were passing through Hyde Park, and there was this some debate going on. And at the end, they started playing our national anthem, and you could just see every Indian nearby standing up and just So when national anthem plays, you're just supposed to stand up straight and listen to it, and the feeling that you get that time, it is unmatchable. So there are a lot of ways in which you can connect with your heritage, and when you do it, the pride you feel, it's very good. It's very, very good.
I agree with Soumya. One thing that I really started cherishing when I came to the UK was my language. So we speak Urdu in Pakistan, and it's very close to Hindi. So I actually made a lot of friends with Indians as well, because one thing that was common was that we had a similar language. So I was able to talk in Urdu, and I really started cherishing my language. And every time I would hear people speak in Urdu, I would just stop speaking in English altogether, and I would just talk to them in Urdu or Hindi. So that is, I think for me, language was the biggest way to stay close to my heritage, because I feel like we only realize its importance once we are out of the country. And that was the case for me, because this was the first time I was traveling on my own without anyone from back home who I could talk to in Urdu, talk with in Urdu. So that was a big thing for me. So even there was a restaurant just like a couple of minutes down the lane from my accommodation. So the guy there, the guy who owns that, was a Pakistani, and obviously we shared the language. So every time I would go there, I would place my order in Urdu, and I would talk to them in Urdu. So just these little instances throughout the day, because I did have a few people from Pakistan in my degree as well. So even with them, I would talk to them in Urdu. So just these few instances in a day or in a week were pretty good, and they made me feel very grounded towards my own heritage, my own country and culture.
Okay, okay,
Okay,
that's
so the most famous festival worldwide, the most famous Chinese festival worldwide is Spring Festival. So I remember last year, even my department prepared a dinner for that festival and invite we Chinese students to enjoy that day together, which is quite surprised me. Yeah.
yeah, that's really nice. All those things, I think that it gives you this reassuring feeling that you're not left out. You still have this feeling of, oh, I'm in another country, but yet I still you know connect with things that have to do with my country and everything. So, what is the food like back in Nottingham for you? Have you found places that serve like authentic cuisine back from your home country? Like for me, the food back here in Nottingham is just like some restaurants where I go to, they just have typical British, cuisines and everything. But I've actually like gone to there's some Nigerian restaurants here in Nottingham. So when I first came here, first thing I did, because I'm a foodie, first thing I did was go on the internet and just find like African restaurants here in Nottingham, and a lot of restaurants just popped up. So I've actually visited a couple of Nigerian restaurants, and I've tasted their food. It's really nice. There's not much difference from the food back at home, and I really enjoyed the food. And I'm just happy that at least Nottingham has like different restaurants. If you want to go to a Chinese restaurant, there are Indian restaurants, there are restaurants for specific countries, specific cultures, and everything. Yeah, that's it for me.
For me, there were a lot of Pakistani restaurants in Nottingham. There's this area in Nottingham, Hyson Green, which is like full of Pakistanis as well as Indians. So it's a very it feels like home. There are stores over there where you can even find ingredients which they export from Pakistan or India. So it's very similar. So I used to do a lot of cooking myself. So I would just go there and I would buy my ingredients. So that part was very Pakistani, very much like home. But there are also a lot of restaurants, and I actually did find myself gravitating towards restaurants which are closer to my cuisine because I felt the British cuisine was a bit too bland for my tastes. So I would go more for like my own cuisine or Indian cuisine or Spanish cuisine for that matter. But food just generally is very nice. I loved eating over there. I even though I did a lot of cooking myself, I spent a lot of money on food. That does take a big chunk out of your savings.
Yes, I
So,
would completely agree with Sela. I'm very sure that if I would have had the chance, I would have taken anybody. Suppose Etiano and Kian, I would have taken both of you to an Indian restaurant. I can't tell you how much I was surprised to find out that how much people in the UK love to talk about Indian food. You
Yeah,
know,
Indian
there's
food as well.
yes, there's this restaurant here in Nottingham called Mowgli. Absolutely delicious food, absolutely delicious Indian food started by an Indian women entrepreneur. Whenever we go there are 2% of Indians and 98% of British people, or non-Indian people eating food there. And the way they say the cherishing, the relishing the food so much that it just makes us feel very happy. And there are a ton of Indian restaurants here, and we have, like, me, my group of friends is entirely 100% Indian. We have never missed Indian food. Like, we've missed home food, of course. Who doesn't miss home food? But whenever we get a craving, we can go to Mowgli, we can go to Tamatanga, we can go to Mughal Azam, we can go anywhere and just get the kind of food that we want to eat. And it is so at one point of time we got bored of eating Indian food. And then at 10 o'clock at night, we thought of, let's see what other cuisine is available to go eat. Surprisingly, no other cuisine was open other than Indian food. So it is just the demand and the availability of Indian food, which is also very, very high in Nottingham. So for any Indian student who's coming and will miss home food, I want to tell you, don't worry about that. There are on budget, very reasonable Indian food available everywhere in Nottingham.
so
Yeah,
though I'm from, although I'm from China, but I recommend a Vietnam restaurant called Coco Town, which is at the city center, and they have the best pho in Nottingham, and their cocktails are so good. And if you are coming to Nottingham, you have to go there.
yeah. Just to add to what you say, for Nigerian students that are coming, the Lekki restaurant here in the city center is one of the best Nigerian restaurants. Their food is amazing. So don't worry if you're thinking, oh, where am I going to see Nigerian food? We have Nigerian restaurants here in Nottingham that is going to give you like the best. You won't even think that you're not in Nigeria. You just have to think, oh yeah, I'm back in Nigeria and everything. So, what opportunities have you guys had so far here in Nottingham to develop yourself, whether it's academic or non-academic? Have you gotten any opportunity to develop yourself, develop your career going forward?
Yes, a lot of them actually, more than I came prepared for. Um, Apart from academics, so a good thing about UK is that your professional life moves very, very, very different from your academic life. So you can look for part-time jobs, you can go into part-time research works. At the same time, you can do your studies without both of them having a clash. You know, um, here your talent matters more, your skill set matters more than how much you're exactly scoring, on your papers, on your marks, what grade are you getting. That is like secondary, rather than what talent and what skill set and what experience you've had overall. I did a lot of jobs. I did a lot of I so Apart from being an international ambassador, I'm also a research assistant for the Department of Psychiatry, and I'm also working with my supervisor on a lot of different research projects. Because of my UK degree, I got a full-time job in the USA with with the machine learning company, which is using consumer behavior and psychology to study the market. So when you are in the UK and with your degree at University of Nottingham, you do not just restrict yourself to the local areas. You can branch out, you can go out to conferences, seminars, and all those platforms you barely get when you are in. You do get, but this is more exposure. This is a more global platform. There's more international marquee guests and like great names who come to conferences, and then you can interact with them. A lot of my contacts and my um, research work is coming from people who I've met at conferences and seminars prior to the pandemic. So Nottingham and University of Nottingham in general has provided a lot of opportunities, both academically, career-wise, and professionally, in developing a skill set, in getting a post, in getting a job, in getting a part-time job, and also giving you the degree that you want to have. So holistically, it is a very good place to be.
I would just like to add to that. Like Soumya said, it actually does broaden your horizons quite a bit. So once you're applying for a job, even if you're not applying for a job in the UK, there are really good chances of you landing a job internationally and not just in your country. I actually just started my job today, and I got hired by a UAE based company. So it's a tech company, and I actually like my the person who interviewed me. He was very interested in what I learned at the University of Nottingham. He was very interested in the University of Nottingham as my being my alma mater rather than myself, because they were so interested in the skills that the university gave me, the skills that I learned being an international student in a country where I had never gone before. So it really does polish you as a professional. But even on a personal level, like in my personal experience, I learned to be much more independent than I've ever been. Back at home, my country has a culture of having a lot of house help. So we had house help, we had a driver, we had people doing different jobs for us. So once I came here, I really developed as a person because I learned to do things my own way, and I actually got really efficient in it. So I would be able to do a lot of chores, domestic chores, in a very short time frame. So it does make you a very self-dependent person, and I think that is really good for personal growth, because at the end of the day, you shouldn't rely on anyone to do your chores. Even if you have the affordability to be able to do that, you should still rely on your own self. And that is something that I learned from the University of Nottingham, and I really enjoy that.
That's really, really nice. And just to add to what you said, for me, the conferences that I've gone so far from my department, because there's a time that my department organized some conferences and everything, and it's something that's helped me over my period of study personally on a non-academic level and also on a career level as well. It's just everything, every opportunity that the university gives, based on whatever your department or based on whatever course, any opportunity the university gives, I always put my hands on them just to have develop myself career wise and also have like my own personal development. Kian, do you have anything to add to that? Do you have any opportunity?
Basically, what I want to talk about is what the university gave me most the skills to study by myself. Like, because my study is very technical, so the university has taught me like how to study a different like programming language by your own instead of just listening lectures in the room, and it also teach me how to do the research independently. Yeah, basically things like that.
Okay, just before we, what is your favorite thing about the Nottingham city? What's the one thing that you would tell someone that is wanting to come to Nottingham? Oh yeah, this is something I really love about the city of Nottingham. What's that thing for you?
Mm, there are so many actually. I The first thing that I tell my friends who are in London when I tell them to come, I just tell them that there is so much a combination of a city and like a country setting. Like it is so peaceful with the right kind of vibe and so many students and just you can be here without your identity being lost. You know, you feel a part of the crowd with an identity. People are fast, but people are warm as compared to other places that I have been. In London, everything is very fast, 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 fast. You know, everything is very instant. Whereas here, there is a warmth. Then there is the setting of a family because everybody around here is a student. Like it is a campus town, I feel, and I feel that there is a 80% student crowd. So that kind of makes it your crib, like it makes it your place to be. The one thing that I absolutely love about Nottingham is its simplicity. Hands down, how simple this town is and how unique in its own way it is.
Yeah, that's right. I can also add to that. Nottingham is a very simple city, and at the same time, even when it's simple, it's actually a fun place to live if you're planning on staying back as well. And another thing I love about the city of Nottingham, like you said, the warmness about the city. Everyone is nice. It's fast, yeah, but everyone is nice. You can actually approach someone and you get like a good response from anybody you talk to. And also the social life in Nottingham is actually nice as well. I mean, the social clubs, the pubs, and also another thing I love about Nottingham is the parks as well. I mean, we've got lots of parks where you can just go with your friends and just chill. The city is a beautiful city, it's a simple city, and it's also a nice place to live. Salah, do you have anything to say about?
I would just like to add to your point, actually. I personally really enjoy how fresh the city is and how green it is. I really enjoy a lot of heritage sites, so I love going to Wallerton Park. And even the University Park campus on its own is sort of a heritage site. So I just love the architecture of Nottingham, the city center, uh, the town hall. That part is really beautiful. The town square. I love that area, and I just absolutely adored the vibe that was there. So that is something that, because I'm back home, I really miss that about Nottingham. And every time the University of Nottingham, their Instagram page, they post some picture showing the city's architecture, showing its culture, its heritage. I definitely reshare that because that's something that I miss the most. The parks, the places you could go, and just the ability to walk around. You every time you were just walking around, you would find something interesting. You won't have a boring walk. And I mean, I don't know if I'm trying to, I'm putting that in a good way in words, but there's, honestly, like you're walking, you would find these nooks and crannies where you would find maybe a store you would like, or maybe a really old so, place, or just something, just a picturesque place, even somewhere you can take good pictures or something. So I really enjoyed that about Nottingham, that it stays interesting. You live there for months, even for years at end, because I do have a friend from back home who got married into the city. So she came from back home and she came to the UK, to Nottingham. And even she said that, because she's been here a few years, that you always find new things in Nottingham, even though it's a small city. There are still things which you might never have seen before. It keeps on giving. It's a city that keeps on giving.
Kiana, do you have anything to say?
I live very close to that place, and whenever the weather is good, I'll take a walk there, like to see like the deers and the Wellington castles. Yeah, yeah, I love that so much.
Okay, great. It was nice chatting with everybody today. And I just hope that our experiences from all the questions that we've asked and answered will give, new students, international students that are coming, an insight to what it's like studying in University of Nottingham and living in Nottingham. Do you have any last words for international students, like an advice or something? Does anybody
I
have?
would just like to say that you're going to have the best time of your life. Pandemic or no pandemic, you're going to have the best time of your life. And just cherish it and don't be scared. I mean, the pandemic is there. Obviously, take precautions, do everything, but don't be scared to explore the city, explore the country. Like Soumya said in the beginning of this chat, as long as you're taking care of yourself, as long as you're taking your precautions, you can have a lot of fun. Um, and still stay safe. So you don't have to worry that, oh, even if I'm coming to the UK, I'm going to be staying in my room. No, that's not how it's going to be. You can enjoy yourself.
All right, thank
And
you.
yes, and like I would like to tell to all students that don't worry about trying to figure it out. Like, you will figure it out. Once you are here, of course, our experience counts and you can learn only so much, but you will figure it out on your own. I know how many videos I watched before coming to Nottingham, and none of them were any helpful till the time I found out my own experience. You have to make your own experience and you have to figure it out. And to every student who's coming this fall or next year or any time, you will figure it out slowly and steadily. And you will, as Stella said, you will have the best time of your life.
All right. It was nice talking to everybody, and I hope we're keeping safe, and I hope we're having fun irrespective of wherever we are. Me, I'm having fun. I hope everybody's having fun. So.
Same goes. It was lovely talking to the three of you.